I love my child and I wanted to live for her, but I felt like I wasn't enough. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mimi, and I know that some of you have been watching my YouTube for a long time and then I just disappeared, right? I know I'm back, and guys, there is so much to tell you. If you missed me, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, you're very much welcome. Everybody that has been on my channel prior to now have known this channel as The Real Mimi, but I have undergone phases, I have changed, I have grown, and that is why I decided to change the name of this channel to Mimi Unscripted, because obviously if you know if you're not new, you know that I'm a storyteller, and if you are new, you can tell from the way I'm talking that I am a storyteller. Guys, welcome to my channel, and let's just get into it, because at this point, I'm talking too much already. Why did I disappear? So many reasons, mostly depression, but so many reasons. I'm back now, so much better. As you can see from the title of the video, we're going to be talking about postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is literally the trenches. Yes, I know you guys didn't know. Guys, I have a baby, I gave birth. I know it's so much to tell you, so much to tell you. But yes, I have a daughter now. She's 9 months, literally watching me while I make this video. Postpartum depression. I'm talking about it from my own personal experience. So like, I'm not a professional, but I'm a professional mom. So at this point, I have experienced it. How would I describe it? Imagine being depressed, not knowing that you're depressed, trying to figure out how to get out of how you're feeling, and you don't even know that it is caused by your hormones. And then you're trying and it's not working, and you feel like your whole world is crumbling and you can't do anything about it. I don't know if what I said just made sense, but that's how it feels. That's how I felt. I didn't know that I was depressed. I couldn't understand why I was feeling how I was feeling. And then I come from a place where postpartum depression is not really talked about. In fact, motherhood as a whole, I think it's the whole world. Motherhood as a whole is not talked about. The realities, I'm not talking about this fake thing that we're out here doing on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere else. But the reality of motherhood, nobody really talks about it. And that's why I'm back here. Because when I was going through what I was going through, I was looking through YouTube, checking on TikTok and whatnot. People couldn't relate. It was like, what? I mean, so many women out there don't even know that what I'm going through is absolutely normal. When I was even looking for these videos, I couldn't find what I was looking for. Imagine my disappointment. I was like, okay, so am I going crazy? You know, at a point I felt like it was a spiritual thing, like maybe I was possessed by some spirit, or I was mad. That's just how it felt. But guys, it was just depression, postpartum depression. Basically, you feel depressed, and that's fine. It's not your fault. It's okay to feel that way. Actually, a lot of the time we don't even know that it is postpartum depression. So if it's in the first 3 months of childbirth, it's usually called baby blues, because that 3 months is supposed to be like the hardest time. But if it exceeds that, then it becomes postpartum depression. I was going through postpartum depression right from after I gave birth till my baby turned 6 months, and I didn't know. You can be depressed after childbirth and have absolutely no idea that you're depressed. And that's okay too. It's not your fault. Your hormones are just acting up. And it seems like my baby wants to come into the camera because, girl, what you doing, girl? What you doing? As I was saying, right? It's not your fault that you don't know what you're feeling is what you're feeling. Your partner might not really understand how you're feeling, and that's okay too. It's not really his fault. Even though you explain and you explain and you explain, he just might not get it. That's the third thing you need to note, and you have to kind of like find someone that understands what you're experiencing. In Nigeria here, right, a lot of women don't know that that is what they feel. The ones that do know that that is what they feel would rather you not talk about it. As I was saying, they just tell you it's normal, don't worry, it will go. How am I supposed to cope until it goes away? In my life, I've never gone viral. And I did a TikTok on postpartum depression. I didn't even know that that's what I was feeling. I just had a mental breakdown and it went viral. That was how I realized that I had postpartum depression, and that was after my baby turned 6 months. She wasn't growing hair like I really wanted her to have hair because I have a lot of hair, and then I was hoping that she'll be extremely chubby, and then she's just like my husband, normal size. I was feeling like maybe I wasn't doing enough, plus the negative voices in my head that would tell me, you're such a bad mom, you're not doing well, look at your daughter, she's not eating well, she doesn't look okay, she's not as big as other people's children. Then you go to the hospital and these nurses will be telling you things that will be driving you crazy. See, I'm trying to be bougie and classy, so let me chill. It really wasn't funny. It was so bad that I thought I was losing my mind. I even asked my husband, oh, I didn't tell you guys, I'm married. I forgot to wear my ring. I'm married. But yeah, that's a story for another day. When they would tell me all those things, I would come home, I would lie down and then think about my life, think about how bad I am at being a mom. And because my mom is late, I tried talking to my aunties, but they didn't get it. It's not their fault because they experienced these things almost 30, 25 years ago and all that. And they didn't know that what they felt was called postpartum depression. For those that felt it, the ones that didn't said they didn't feel anyway. They felt absolutely normal after childbirth. I didn't feel that way. I wasn't feeling strong. My mom is really strong, or I knew her to be strong mentally, physically, emotionally. She was A1. Like you can never catch her on fresh, literally. But whatever she was feeling behind the scenes, I had no idea, because obviously she's a mom. She probably won't want to talk about it with her children, right? Or anybody. But because I never knew her to be weak, I was struggling. I wasn't feeling like a strong mom. I wasn't feeling like I was a good mom. It was really a hard time for me. After childbirth, I was in the hospital for about 4 to 5 days. After I was discharged, the moment I got home, I couldn't breathe. I was struggling. I started thinking, oh my God, what if something goes wrong? What if I'm sleeping and my baby doesn't wake up? What if my baby's sleeping, I'm sleeping and I don't wake up? What if I pass on and leave my child here at a really young age? I started having so many negative thoughts, and I started crying, telling my auntie I didn't want to die. I don't want to die like my mom did, I think that was the first sign that I was going to have postpartum depression. When all that was happening, right, my auntie started praying for me. After the prayer, I felt relieved. Everyone just thought, oh, okay, she's fine. But that was the beginning of everything, because from then on, every day afterwards, I thought about what if one day I leave my daughter behind at a really young age? That was the first thought that would pop in my mind. I love my child and I wanted to live for her. That was the beginning of postpartum depression for me. Okay, this is my reality, guys. When I come back, I'm gonna shoot a new video and tell you guys everything that happened. I'm back, and where was I? I was so scared that I was going to leave her. That was my biggest fear. And then coupled with the fact that I couldn't help my emotions, right? I would always raise my voice at my husband. Nothing he was doing was good enough. Like, he was literally doing his best to make me happy, but it was never enough, because somehow I would always be angry. I married a really good man. Oh, and my baby's with him now. That's why I'm able to film. He tries to do his beats before he goes to work, when he comes back from work, so that I don't feel the pressure of being a mom and all that. My husband was doing his best not to annoy me, but he was pissing me off. Like, that kind of a thing where you are having a good day. It's not like your day is great. You're already exhausted from taking care of your child all day. You're lacking sleep, but you feel okay. Then he walks into the door and all of a sudden you're pissed. Oh my God. Listen, yeah, when this thing was happening to me, I thought it was just me. I thought I was losing my mind, until after I went viral and a lot of moms were just talking about it. I was like, what? So this is normal. Hey God. I was so shocked that it was normal. I didn't know like all this thing was postpartum depression. Although, like, before I gave birth, a doctor already told me that I have a high chance of having PPD, because when I was pregnant, I had pregnancy depression. Yes, I was depressed when I was pregnant, but that was what was happening, and I I didn't see myself getting better. I remember after the video went viral, a lot of moms reached out to me. I have a group chat where I and a few moms just talk about how we're feeling. We cry when we need to, just to ease stress. They've been there for me, and I try my best to be there for them. And then yeah, people were really encouraging. I was so shocked. You know, social media, they would always like try to put you down, but there was so much positive response that I couldn't even focus on the negative ones. I was so glad that women were actually starting to speak up. I was so shocked because people don't talk about these things. Like, I didn't even know these things existed until I got pregnant. I didn't know postpartum depression was a real thing. And even one time when I was reading about it, I just looked, I'm like, okay, this is something that you can just push yourself out of. What's the big deal? Like, until I was in that shoe, I didn't know what it felt like. My biggest lesson that I've learned from the whole thing that happened to me is, don't ever judge a book by its cover. If the shoe doesn't fit, you don't know how painful it is. If you're not the one going through that thing, you have absolutely no right to judge that person, because you don't know how you would react when you're in it. Don't undermine people's pain or situation just because you feel like, oh, what's the big deal? There is a big deal. You don't know how you would react in that situation. My friends and everybody that I've known always knows me to be like, the strong girl, like she has her emotions in check. Even when I got pregnant and my friends found out, right, they made a statement. They're like, it's you now, you're a strong girl, you've always been the strong one amongst us, so I'm sure you'll do great at motherhood. Now imagine the strong girl feeling. These were the things that really got to me during my postpartum depression. My hormones, I didn't know that it was hormones. My hormones were, darling, I just want to tell you this, yeah, you're not crazy. Number one, you're not possessed. It's not spiritual, and it's not your fault. Yeah, it's just your hormones. Hormones spiral after childbirth. That's what nobody tells you. Nobody tells you this thing. Pregnancy and childbirth, it has its own wahala, but you see the way I felt during postpartum depression, oh my god, it's like having the two pains combined. I literally told my therapist, my nutritionist, Dr. Pecky, and I was like, I can't do this, I'm never going to feel better. And guess what, they all gave the same response. Trust me, one day you would actually look back and you'll laugh about this. I was so sure that I would never get out of this feeling that I was having. I'm so thankful for these strong women that took it upon themselves to actually look after me. I'm just thankful that I had these women to support me, to be there for me, to encourage me, to teach me. And one thing that I learned in this whole thing is that you are not your mistake. Apparently, postpartum depression can happen to anyone, but anyone that has prior depression or prior trauma that they haven't dealt with has a higher chance of experiencing postpartum depression because of the hormonal changes. It can push everything right up to the top, and it can cause a spiral. So I was so glad that I met people that didn't judge me. They understood what I was going through. Being a strong woman doesn't mean that you don't have bad days. It doesn't mean that you have it all figured out. You don't. Everybody that is strong is dealing with something. They are just not talking about it. I just decided to share this because I know there are so many people that are trying to figure out what is happening to them. It's not your fault, again, because at some point I felt like it was my fault. I felt bad that I couldn't be good to my husband. I couldn't be strong enough mentally for my child. Another thing that really helped me was praying and worshiping. Just do things that can take your mind off it. Literally just put yourself in a mindset of, I need to be better. Not just for my child, not just for my husband, but for myself. That's what I kept telling myself, because I have a whole life ahead of me. There are so many things that I've wanted my whole life, and I wasn't doing it. All these things were happening, and it was kind of like there was a click in my brain, like, Omo, guy, you never live life, oh, no, just allow this thing destroy you. Literally, that was what was going on in my head. So I kept pushing. I was like, I must be better. I started saying my daily affirmations. I started speaking positively to myself. Like when those negative thoughts would come, I'm like, no, that's the thing you don't understand. I'm gonna live a long life. I'm gonna have more kids. I'm gonna spend time with my husband. I'm going to have my businesses. I'm gonna go on trips with my spouse, with my friends, alone. I'm actually going to live my best life. And my children are going to be alive to see me live that life. And I'm gonna be alive to see their own children. So I'm not going anywhere. This is literally how I started talking. Sometimes I would say it in my head when it was bad. I would say it out loud. I feel like all this support is what helped me to be better. And guys, see, I recommend therapy 1000%. You have no idea. Go to therapy. If you think that therapy is bad, that means you need therapy. This video is becoming too long, but guys, that's how I experienced postpartum depression. To be honest, I'm much better than where I was. It's a very horrible feeling and I don't wish it on anybody. I'm here to tell you that you're going to be fine. You might not feel like it right now, but I promise you, you're actually going to be fine. The only thing that I need you to do is to wake up every day and decide to show up for yourself. Oh my god, and like Dr. Pecky always says, choose yourself. As in, intentionally choose yourself. Like when you wake up in the morning, do something for yourself. If you need to wake up a little bit earlier so that you spend your time with yourself before you have to do everything for the family, do that. And if you don't have anybody in your corner, or you feel like you don't have, or the people you expect to understand don't actually understand, just comment under the video and yeah, maybe reach out on Instagram. I'm going to check it out and try to respond and be there the way that I can. I'm not an expert and I'm not perfect. I just want you to be okay and not to be alone in this your trying time. But what you should remember is that you will get better. It sounds very cliche and unrealistic right now. Like I'm just trying to make you feel good. No, I'm not. I'm telling you personally from experience, it will get better. You will feel better. If you do come across my video and you got to the end, thank you for watching. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and turn on post notification. And I am so glad to be back, so glad to have you guys, and I can't wait to see you in my next video where I'll probably be telling you another story. Bye.